up, guys? So today on the channel, I want to talk about a film which holds a significant place in my heart. It's Baz Luhrmann's Moulin Rouge. Hey, sister soul, sister flow, sister go, sister. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? C'est soin, Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Yeah, 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 yeah. Moulin Rouge came out in 2001. It was the third film in Baz Luhrmann's Red Curtain trilogy after Strictly Ballroom and Romeo and Juliet. His jukebox musical about beauty, truth, freedom, and love was a runaway hit when it came out. It made a ton of money at the box office. It launched its stars, Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman, into the A-list. It was nominated for 8 Oscars, winning 2 for production design and costume design. And like I said, I have a special relationship with this film for 2 reasons. Firstly, is because of my partner Glen. We've been together now for 8 years. He's an Aussie, so he's a big fan of Baz Luhrmann films. And I think Moulin Rouge is probably his favorite film of all time. So this film he treasures, it's very dear to him. And when we first got together, I hadn't seen Moulin Rouge. So watching this film my first time with him in the early stages of a relationship is a very special memory for me because cinema has the power to bring people together. Watching a story on the screen can be a part of your story. I just remember watching Moulin Rouge for the first time in our old flat on the sofa and just seeing the joy on his face whilst watching this movie, seeing his love for the characters and the music. It was just one of those moments where I felt myself falling in love with him, just seeing how happy this movie made him. And yeah, it's sappy and romantic, and I know, but it's lovely that I can associate the blossoming embers of our relationship with a movie which screams romance. I love that. I love that a movie that's all about beauty, truth, freedom, and love is a part of our story. It's so gay. But it's true! I can't help it, it's part of our story. And I love that about our story. It's just, you know, the Elephant Medley will one day be playing at our wedding, you know. So yeah, God, this movie, it brings a big old smile to my face. The second reason why this film is oh so dear to me is because I worked on Secret Cinema Moulin Rouge for 4 months, and it was, honest to God, one of the most fun jobs I've ever had in my life. I must have watched Moulin Rouge 100 times over the space of 4 months. Not even kidding, like, it was probably more than that, to be honest. And remarkably, the movie never got tedious or tiresome. I was waiting to get bored of it. But because each audience that came each night brought so much energy and good vibes about love and romance and were there to party, it just never got dull. It was a party every night for 4 months straight. It was one of the best jobs I've ever had. So yeah, Moulin Rouge is definitely in my top 5, probably even top 3 most watched movies that I've seen in my life. That's because I lived in the movie for like 4 months, hence why I have a special, meaningful relationship with the film. So in honor of the 20-year anniversary of the film's release, as well as a present to Glen, I want to give you my review and thoughts on Baz Luhrmann's Moulin Rouge. Before we talk about the musical that's all about love, be sure to show my channel some love by hitting that thumbs up button. Make sure to let me know what you think of Moulin Rouge in that comment section down below, and if you guys haven't done so already, don't forget to click subscribe. Also, if you guys haven't seen Moulin Rouge, here is your spoiler warning because I am going to be talking in depth about the film. The story is set in 1900 Montmartre, France, in the titular Moulin Rouge nightclub, and tells the whirlwind love story between a writer called Christian, played by Ewan McGregor, and a cabaret performer slash prostitute slash aspiring actress, Satine, played by Nicole Kidman. They wish to put on a show at the Moulin Rouge, a magnificent, opulent, tremendous, stupendous, gargantuan bedazzlement, a sensual ravishment called Spectacular Spectacular, which Christian will write and Satine will star in. Now, as you can tell from that little sentence, I have seen this movie over 100 times. But the show's financier, the Duke, or the Duke played with splendiferous sleaziness by Richard Roxburgh, stands between Christian and Satine and their dreams and their love, which they have to keep a secret. The film is an operatic jukebox musical, meaning, with the exception of Come What May, the film uses well-established pop songs instead of original songs, which some might call lazy, but to me, Moulin Rouge is the definitive jukebox musical. Many have tried to emulate what Baz did with Moulin Rouge, but I don't think anybody has topped what Baz has done with Moulin Rouge. Don't get me wrong, there are some amazing jukebox musicals out there. Mamma Mia, Rocketman, We Will Rock You. Yes, I'm saying We Will Rock You and not Bohemian Rhapsody, thank you very much. But they're all confined to one particular artist or singer, whereas Moulin Rouge borrows from a wide variety of pop stars, as well as pop culture, Bollywood, stage musicals, opera. Even the story of Moulin Rouge is loosely based off the myth of Orpheus in the underworld, and because it borrows so much, Moulin Rouge ends up being this formalist, postmodern, pastiche musical. God, there was a lot of big words there, wasn't there? Some people argue that the film is too excessive, which I can understand where you're coming from, but this is Baz Luhrmann we're talking about. The man's style of filmmaking has become renowned for lavish displays of grandiosity. But part of the reason that Moulin Rouge works as well as it does is because Baz is a master of controlled chaos. Even though his films are utterly bonkers, he's still very much in the driver's seat of his loco machine. So much about this film shouldn't work. You've got a tango version of The Police's Roxanne, a Bollywood version of Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend, Kylie flippin' Minogue as an absinthe green fairy. You've got John Leguizamo playing dwarf Toulouse-Lautrec. Literally spends the whole film on his knees pretending to be a dwarf. Jim bloody Broadbent prancing around singing like a virgin. And of course you've got Christian serenading Satine with Your Song while dancing around on top of the clouds whilst it's raining glitter from the sky and the moon is singing like Pavarotti in the background. Only Baz Luhrmann could pull any of that stuff off. It's because Baz trusts and believes in his vision that we, the audience, believe it. We don't question the absurdity of it all. So yes, the film is excessive. In fact, excessively excessive. But there's real beauty amongst all the chaos. But is Baz's signature blend of exuberant visuals, rapid editing, and dazzling choice of music all style and no substance? Well, no. I don't think it is. Yes, it's a musical about falling in love in the face of adversity. I mean, it has been done to death, but because of Baz's hyperactive approach, he's actually providing a satirical commentary on the notions of love, romance, and musicals.
Love is like oxygen.
What?
Love is a many splendid thing. Love lifts us up where we belong. All you need is love.
Moulin Rouge is a celebration of love, romance, and ooey-gooey, lovey-dovey pop songs. But because it's presented in such an over-the-top, ironic fashion, it's also mocking all those things. It's why the acting feels very melodramatic. I don't care about your ridiculous dogma! Why shouldn't the courtesan choose the Maharaja? Because she doesn't love you! She's confessing! Oh, yes! 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 Even the Duke himself kind of resembles a cartoony, mustache-twirling dandy villain, you know? I forgot my foul play. It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. It's all intentionally ridiculous because Baz is illustrating a point that The very notion of epic romantic love is in itself ridiculous. But at the same time, there is enough sincerity for you to feel emotionally invested in the romance between Satine and Christian. Nicole Kidman and Ewan McGregor have an undeniable, sizzling chemistry, easily one of the top romantic pairings in the history of cinema. Also, a shout out to Nicole Kidman's comedic skills in this film because she does not get enough credit for how funny she is in this film, particularly the scene where she's in the elephant trying to seduce Christian when she thinks he's the Duke. It's just the little things that she does. Well, also the big things, but it's the little things she does in the scene which just set me off. Like the way that she slams the champagne bottle down, how she turns around and raises that eyebrow and she's like, very well. Yeah, I can't do it. And of course, you got the big stuff like her rolling around on the floor. She's like, oh yes, naughty, don't stop.
Give me more. Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, and of course, the way she reacts when she finds out that Christian is a writer and not the Duke, and she's just like, oh no! She is so freaking funny in that film. People don't give enough credit for comedic chops in that film. Also, a shout out to Jim Broadbent as the larger-than-life Harry Zidler. He's such a towering presence on screen, but without ever being domineering. Plus, he gets some absolutely brilliant dialogue, which he puts his own stamp on. Oh, my little strawberry. Invest? Invest! Everything's going so well! It kind of goes without saying that the production design and the costumes by Catherine Martin are magnificent. The two Oscars speak for themselves, very much deserved. But the most underlooked element of this film is by far and away Jill Bilcock's editing. She is the MVP of this film. She is so unsung because Moulin Rouge is such an overwhelmingly spectacular film. So much of it demands your attention at any given time because of the color, the lighting, the costumes, the sets, the dazzling musical numbers. There's so much going on that it's easy to miss the glue which keeps it all together, and that's the editing. Moulin Rouge is a very big and loud movie, and Baz's style is so extravagant, dynamic, and flashy. He shoots about each musical number from about 1,000 different angles. You only have to watch the Can-Can scene or the El Tango de Roxanne to see that he shoots just about anything and everything. And it's Bilcock who has to take all that footage and stitch it all together, and she does a phenomenal job. So many of the musical set pieces build to goose-pimply, satisfying crescendos. Roxanne, Your Song, Come What May, they all erupt with palpable emotion. Yes, credit goes to Baz's direction, the choreography, the performers, the aesthetic, the cinematography, but without Bilcock's editing holding everything together in place, none of it would work. Given the Academy's track record, it's actually kind of odd that Moulin Rouge didn't win Best Editing for Jill Bilcock, because normally at the Oscars, they give Best Editing to the film with the most or the flashiest editing, and Moulin Rouge has editing coming out the wazoo. It takes someone with a lot of skill to rein in all of Baz Luhrmann's creative vision and bring it to life, and Jill Bilcock did a phenomenal job. She would have been deserving of the Oscar, in my opinion. Even though the film is an outrageously indulgent sensory sugar rush, it is just one big party, but it's not just all style and flair. There's a lot of tragedy in this film as well. Lest we forget that Satine dies of consumption, Christian is left alone, and the Duke holds the deeds to the Moulin Rouge. This is a film where the bad guy kind of wins. But that's what Baz is trying to tell us, that even though the central themes of this film are freedom, beauty, truth, and above all, love, despite all evidence to the contrary, love doesn't in fact conquer all. But despite the somber notes of Nature Boy, which is the song which bookends the film, each time I hear those final words, the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. No, no. I feel absolutely spent. The film takes so much out of me, but I always leave it feeling so satisfied. So the time has come to ask those 3 questions. Firstly, would I watch this again? Well, I've already admitted that I have seen this movie countless times. Genuinely, I've seen it more than 100 times. That's not me being hyperbolic, that's just a fact. Second question, do I recommend it for you guys? Yes. I know not everybody is a fan of Baz Luhrmann's style. I know a lot of people find his work to be quite garish, and I totally understand where they're coming from. And I know not everyone likes musicals either, but Moulin Rouge is so deliriously entertaining. It's the type of film that you have to watch at least once to know whether you like it or not. And even though it is a pastiche of so many other things like silly love songs, opera, mythology, pop culture, Bollywood, etc., it still manages to be its own thing. Like, it's completely unique, this film. So yes, I do recommend it to everybody. It's a film that I think everybody should watch at least once before they die. And third and final question, what score do I give it out of 10? Like I said before, Baz Luhrmann's Moulin Rouge holds a very dear, tender, special place in my heart. I have such a fondness for this film, a real special connection to mine and Glen's story. So that does kind of, cloud my judgment, I think, of it. And I do think that Moulin Rouge is a little bit over the top, but for this film, it works. It works. The madness, the absurdity of it all fits in perfectly. And when I sit down and think, what would I change about this film? Honestly, nothing. There is nothing that I would change about this film. I love it the way it is. So I'm going to give Baz Luhrmann's Moulin Rouge a 10 out of 10. But as always, guys, it's just one bloke's opinion. I want to hear your thoughts on Moulin Rouge. What do you think of this movie? What's your favorite song? What are your favorite quotes from it? Whatever you have to say, let me know in that comment section down below. If you guys have enjoyed this video, share the love by hitting that thumbs up button. If you want more movie, TV, and Oscars related content, don't forget to click subscribe. And if you want to follow me on any of my socials, all those links in that video description down below. Thanks so much for watching, guys. For more things related to movies, TV, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Gearfield, and I'll see you next time. Because we get.